You know what's brutal? Learning something important, but learning it too late. And you're stuck thinking, why didn't anyone tell me this 10 years ago? Here are 6 raw lessons that I learned way too late. Smash the like button. This video is also brought to you by Factor. More on them later. Let's get into it with big idea number 1. This guy right here, your phone, you pick up on average 96 times a day. And you're constantly just bombarded now with shorts and information. And what I wish I would have known a long time ago, this is not real life. This is entertainment. Social media loves extremes. How this kid made $1 million in 18 months. Oh, and by the way, he's 22. I lost 90 pounds in 90 days by only eating red meat. Even self-improvement, man. It's like monk mode. Shut the world out and don't have any friends or social interactions or nothing. What I wish I would have known like years ago is extreme advice sounds the best in the short term, but usually works the worst over the long term. I've done extreme challenges like uploading videos every single day. Okay, that's what it takes early on, you know, to make it on YouTube, and it just burnt me out after 30 days. I didn't want to film a video for 6 months versus a more sustainable approach weekly. Been able to keep that up for the most part. Yeah, I miss a week here and there, but for 4 or 5 years. What I'm trying to say here is filter what you see on the internet. Have more filters for yourself and just remind yourself that what you are seeing is entertainment. It's not real life. Consistency over intensity works every time. This next one is for you if you're a perfectionist. A lot of people self-identify as that. Like, oh, I would do it, but I need everything to be perfect. Done is better than perfect because perfect never gets done. The thing I learned too late in life is that you wanting something to be perfect and really good doesn't mean it's gonna be really good and perfect, because you're capped at the ability you are right now. And so let's just say you're like a level 2 at making something. The only way that thing can be perfect is up to level 2. But if you launch the thing and improve and you get to level 3, 4, well then your next thing, your perfect version of it, can be a level 3 or 4 as good. And you just keep leveling up, and so will your work or your videos or your art. But you will never ever level up, and your work won't get any better if you don't put anything out there and you just sit in fear mode and perfectionist mode thinking about the thing. You don't need more ideas. You need more reps. Man, I have videos that I've filmed where I thought afterwards blew. I was like, I go out to Danny, my fiance, and I'm like, oh man, that video, I gotta be honest, babe, that was not my best performance. And I'm like, but at least I did it, right? At least I can say, you know, I didn't miss this week. I took the shot. And those end up getting like hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of views. Like some of the most top performing videos on this channel I look at and I'm like, I can't believe that thing took. I didn't feel like that was, you know, strong performance. And then the ones where I'm like, oh yeah, that thing's gonna crush. I know it, you know, I nailed it. Those end up flopping because it's like you put too much into the thing. And yeah, it doesn't always mean you're gonna get more effort out. So this lesson I learned way too late, man, is that momentum is everything. If you just get moving a little bit, that unlocks everything for you. Here's a third lesson I learned way too late in life. And drill this into your head, because once I did, my life got way easier and I realized when to make decisions and when to never make decisions. HALT. These are the 4 trigger states you're most vulnerable to a slip up or making a poor decision. Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. HALT. So what I wish I would have known earlier is that your brain lies when you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Put another way, we all become Betty White in the Snickers commercial.
You're playing like Betty White out there.
That's not what your girlfriend said.
Baby, eat a Snickers. Better?
You're not you when you're hungry.
Great ad. And that's what happens when we're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. You're not yourself. So it doesn't make sense to listen to your emotions or how you're feeling or, you know, tap into your true self when you're not your true self. Existential dread doesn't hit when you're full and surrounded by the people you love and chilling. No, it hits you Sunday night when you're hungover from Saturday and you got the Sunday scaries because of 40-hour work weeks ahead of you. So yeah, this one is saying that maybe there's nothing fundamentally wrong with you and nothing that you need to change. Maybe it's just a lack of good sleep. Maybe it's a lack of a good meal. Maybe it's a lack of sunlight or de-stressing. Speaking of good meals, I want to tell you about our sponsor of today's video, Factor. What could be better than a private chef? One that delivers your meals ready for you to eat to your door once a week and gives you 35 options to choose from. Factor makes meeting your nutritional goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, and dietitian approved meals right to your doorstep. They also have popular options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, Veggie, or Vegan. And what I love about Factor is, you know those days where life is really busy and you don't have time to set everything up, maybe you didn't go to the grocery store, cook it, clean, put things away. All you gotta do is pull out one of these, heat it up for 2 minutes, and boom. You got, in my case for lunch today, grilled filet mignon and creamy Parmesan shrimp. That's on their Gourmet Plus meal. No planning ahead, no prepping, no cleanup, 2 minutes, and you got lunch. Holy cow. I don't even need to cook anymore. I could eat this all day, every day. This is amazing. The flavors, the texture, I mean, it tasted like a restaurant. And what's cool is Factor is super flexible. They have plans ranging from 4 to 18 meals every single week. You can pause, skip deliveries, reschedule at any time if life gets hectic. So if you want to try this for yourself, head to factor75.com and use the code 50Clark to get 50% off your first Factor box and free shipping. Okay, that's factor75.com. Use the code 50Clark and get 50% off your first order plus free shipping. Thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this video. So this one, I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm throwing it in here for you. Not every hobby you have has to be turned into a business. I think social media has done a lot for us, but one of the things it's done is perverted hobbies into money-making opportunities. And if you're not the best and constantly improving, it kind of plants a subconscious belief that it's a waste of time. Love cooking? Yeah, you should start a food Instagram. Dig design? You gotta sell your work on Etsy. And if you like photography, you gotta shoot weddings on the side. Obviously, I'm not saying you can't monetize your hobbies. If that's you, go for it. You know, I'm living proof that you can do what you love and make a business around it. But what I am saying is that when you do monetize something, or you have an intention of making money from it, it completely changes your relationship to that thing. Like, I was touring a lot with bands, and unfortunately, you know, with other bands, I would see people who got into it for the love of music, and that's all they wanted to do. But as soon as they had the pressure of tour, of album sales, of being on the road away from friends and family, not having relationships, like, that started to burn them out, and they ended up, unfortunately, hating the music. They even hated their hit songs. They didn't want to play them because they felt like products, not artists. But with hobbies, you don't need that. The point of a hobby is that it fuels you and gives you energy and it's fun. And it has no pressure, right? It's something you do outside of work. When you have hobbies that are just that, hobbies that fuel you and give you energy, man, like that's the purest form of it. And don't feel the pressure that if you like something, you need to make money from it. Things are great that are just that. They're just something to do for fun, something you enjoy. Hey, this next one fits perfectly into what we just spoke about. You've heard the saying, you are what you eat. And that's a nutritional saying, right? Garbage in, garbage out. You eat bad food, you're gonna feel bad. But in 2020 plus, I believe, yeah, it's what you are what you eat, but you are what you scroll. What you are taking in on a day-to-day through your feed is literally feeding you. It changes your opinions, your values, and your personality. Now, this can be for good, right? You see inspiring content, content that makes you think different, content that makes you grow, and you can grow as a person. I've experienced that as well. And then this can also work against you, where you see content that triggers you or makes you have values that you didn't otherwise have, or compare yourself to people, and it can really kind of spiral you down and deteriorate you. It's not like you're beyond this or above this. No, we're all influenced by what we see. And this is a lesson I wish I learned sooner, because I experienced this throughout my life. Even music, like back in the day when I was consuming so much emo music as a teenager, I wanted something to feel sad about. I think I felt sad, that's why I vibed with it and it matched where I was, but also listening to it made me feel worse and it got me in this spiral. I'm not saying you can't listen to throwbacks, but if you get too sucked into something, it changes how you feel. Even in 2023, I felt I was really into doing a lot of therapy, inner work, and reading a lot of psychology. And I started feeling really heavy and analytical. Again, that stuff is great in doses, But if it is your whole life, it can sort of change, your mood and who you are. So even positive inputs, be careful, like keep them in balance here. But yeah, the same way you are what you eat, nutrition changes who you are. I think you are what you scroll, and the inputs you have change your opinions, values, and who you are as a person. This last one, let's go deep together. All right, you down? And what am I holding here? I'm holding an external battery, and there's a little Velcro strip on the back. Velcro works because both the edges are rough and they can stick together. They find the common ground in the middle. But if it's too smooth, it's too perfect, it can't work. It doesn't stick to it. I think human beings are the same way. Connection happens around the rough edges. We all want to be smooth and slick and have it all together, but man, when you open up to people, that is the fastest way to connect. Think about this in terms of dating. You ever gone on a date or heard a friend who went on a date, and what do they say if it didn't work? They're like, yeah, there was just no connection. There just wasn't a spark. There wasn't a connection. I didn't feel connected to that person. What does that mean? They were boring. That's what it means. And what is boring? I don't think any of us are born boring. I don't think any of us are born without a personality. I think it's when we shove it down, we suppress it. Maybe we had an unsupportive parent, or maybe we got bullied, or maybe, we've had experiences that we deem went a certain way and we can't be a certain way. So we shove our personality down and we learn to become safe, smooth. We try to be perfect. But really, what connects you to other people and what will make you feel connected to them are the imperfections and the rough edges that you have. The poet Rumi has one of the most beautiful quotes that I wrote in the front cover of my journal, and I get chills every single time. The wound is the place where the light enters you. So the lesson I learned too late in life, it's okay to open up sooner. And not that you're trying to use vulnerability as a tactic or a technique, but because you're human. And connection will only happen around the rough edges. So now I'm curious, what's a lesson you learned too late in life? Drop it in the comments down below. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video. I'll link right here 10 things I wish I knew a decade ago. If you like more of these quick fire, rapid fire lessons I wish I knew sooner, it's a perfect follow-up. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to bet on yourself, do hard things, make your future self proud. Peace.